Hi friends, welcome or welcome back today to my budget. My name is Nita and I'm on a journey to becoming a financial warrior, giving myself financial options with the help of zero-based budgeting, the cash envelope system, and savings challenges. This is the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. I've used this for 2 years straight because I'm paid bi-weekly. Every month has 5 paychecks. So I've been able to use this. I feel like I got my money's worth. I love it. So I already pre-wrote down my categories and bills. And a couple things I wanted to show you guys that I use. At the beginning of the year, I pre-plan and set goals for categories. It's a base for me to know how much I need to stuff, whether I'm stuffing monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly. I did this video towards the beginning of the year. I broke it down and did it with you guys. For me, things are set and planned, so I know my numbers. I preset them for the year, and I kind of stick with them unless something is fully funded, which I do have a couple things fully funded for the year, and I think we'll bring this back out and just highlight those categories. But that's something that I always have as a reminder, even though now I just remember. And this is, I call it my due dates menu, because for my monthly expenses, I don't write everything out. It's here. And so being that I'm a month ahead, I'm able to, the total monthly expenses, split it in half over my 2 paychecks, except when it's a magic month. And I just replenish my month ahead checking account. And then on the bottom here is my credit cards. If I use them, it's just a quick reminder of when they're due. So it's just these 2 items that I have to refer back to at the end of the month, or almost at the end of the month. I go through and just make sure everything came out and the numbers are what it's supposed to be, and I wipe and have it set for the next year. I'm sorry, the next month. The way that I budget, I use the zero-based budget, as I mentioned. I just find that for me, having a plan and allocating the money and know exactly where it's going, or at least where it's supposed to be, gives me a peace of mind that I'm on top of my finances. So we're going to get into the paycheck, and the actual number was 9. So the paycheck came in at $975.90. And of course, that's after retirement, insurance, all that good stuff. And so that is the number we're working with. Moving down to the bills, those monthly expenses is a total of $380 per month. Divided by 2, that's $190. So that's how much we budget, $190. My cushion goes into a separate checking account. And this year I've been giving it $125. Next is month ahead. And in this month ahead category, I've already gotten a month ahead on the bills that I'm responsible for. And so now I'm working on the bills that I'm not responsible for. So I have access to a whole month of all the bills across the board. So I am giving this $20. It's a slow and steady type of month ahead. Next is Secure Auto, which is my car insurance. I have insurance with Geico. I am a year ahead, and so I just stay replenishing this category. By the time the next year's premium is due, I'll have all the money for the entire year. That number is pretty much set at $50. That does include a buffer. I'm loving that. I would love to get all my bills a year ahead. Slowly, it's getting there. Next is the eatery, and that's where we do our 3-month meat haul, and that's getting $50 as well. So we always like to get this up to $300 before we order, and we just did an order last month. Next is HOA, and this year it's getting $23 a paycheck. I set a goal at $650 and got the bill. It came in at $640, so I'm like, yes. But I think I've been noticing that the bill goes up $15 every year. With that information, pre-plan with a little bit of buffer. I think next year I'm going to go to $675 just in case it is more than 15. Amazon is not being stuffed this paycheck. I only stuff Amazon once a month with $12. So I'm doing that on the second paycheck. And then Whole Life, I have this as a line item. I like everything to have some sort of buffer. In my monthly expenses right now, Whole Life is eating up that buffer. So I haven't decided if I'm going to save it in cash because I pay it annually or leave it in the bank. But I have it here as a reminder, a constant reminder. And it's not on here because I just signed up for the policy this year. So it's not listed to redo this. To add it, these are all the bills that I cover, whether it's in the bank or in cash. And SIB is stay in bank. So we're going to go through and add this up. So $458 goes towards bills. And we're going to take that $458 from $975.90. That leaves us with $517.90 to roll to the next category. Okay, so next we have our cash envelopes, the envelopes that I keep in my wallet. And we're working with 5 categories. And before we dive in, let's bring the $517.90 down. In groceries, I give it $40. And I know I am not grocery shopping with $40, but I am giving myself money to pick up those things that we ran out of or forgotten in the grocery haul. And so for us, this works. That's why I'm able to keep this number relatively low. I'm not grocery shopping. Next is card juice, and I give this all year. Pretty much I've been giving it $50. I've gave it more in the month of June because we was traveling and we had so many events going on. So I beefed it up in the month of June. And now towards the end of the year, I am reducing it from 50 to 45. And I'm going to see how this works. I typically have some rollover in card use. So I was like, $5 should make a difference. So we should see. Dine Out gets 25. And in this category, we eat out, but we don't eat out often. As a matter of fact, this weekend we'll be eating out, but it's because we're invited to a birthday party at a restaurant. The host of the party was gracious enough to cover the cost of the kids, so I only have to pay for myself. Certain events, reasons for us to go out, but we got away from the excuse or the reasoning of, I'm tired, I don't feel like it. We meal prep. When you always have food available, you eat what you have because it's there and it's not a daily task. So definitely prepare for the week for lunch and dinner. I'm not really a breakfast. Well, I love breakfast, but I don't eat breakfast. I fast most of the morning. So that saves. But sometimes, on the weekend, I may have a little something. It just depends on how I'm feeling. But just wanted to share that with you guys in case you feel like these numbers aren't realistic. They are realistic for us because of how we have things set up. And not only that, dining out, it's an incentive to not eat out because for us, what we save and eating out, it rolls to our vacation fund. Moving along to Ragnar, he's going to get 10. And then Hang Time is going to get 10, which I just realized Hang Time is fully funded, but I want to have something in my wallet. Like all of my categories have a cash wallet buffer. And so at the end of the pay cycle, I roll it over. When the category is fully funded, I'm just going to leave it in the wallet, call it good. So now we need to add up everything here in the envelopes. So we have 40, and my number has been 135 that I allocate to my wallet. I'm sorry. Well, to my wallet and my envelopes in my wallet. And so it should equal 130. Let's see. Since I took the 5 from Dine Out or card juice. Yes. So And that's one thing that budgeting has taught me is know your number. Know your number. So last year, I think I was giving my wallet like $200. And over time, I realized, like, I'm doing too much in my wallet because most categories I don't spend from. So basically, what I'm doing this year, the first three groceries, card use, dine out, pretty much stay the same. So $20, I roll from Fam Jam, Beauty, Ragnar Home, Hang Time, Kindness, Miscellaneous. I rolled at $20 from category to category. That seems to work because I'm not spending like that, but I like to know that I have something if I need it. I said that to say that you find ways to cut expenses when you've done all you can do in the bills. You cut everything you can in the bills, you go to your envelopes. We're gonna take the 130 from the 517.90, and that leaves 387.90 to roll to the sinking funds. $87.90. So I have 4 binders of sinking funds. Wellness is in my personal binder. I set a goal to try and maintain $200. Now, this is a category that I'm constantly spending from because I'm buying my supplements. If I need to cover a copay, I felt like $200 would be enough throughout any time frame to pull from, because my supplements, when I do a major haul, like, which I'm coming up on that this month, I have over $100 in there now. I did spend from it the previous month, so it's not at that $200 goal, but it's enough to cover what I need when I need it. And so this paycheck, I'm going to give it $17. A lot of my co-pays that I would have paid, I haven't had to pay. Fortunate enough for, to just go and do my annual visits, which are covered. Next is school aid, and this is the kids back to school fund. We're gearing up for 2025, and that's something I'm realizing now, that here we fully funded for the year. We set a goal for $900, and I needed it by July 1st, 2024. We were giving it $41 per paycheck, and now that goal has changed. Let me see. So I realized that I need to at least start a new sinking fund tracker for some categories for 2025, because school aid and Christmas, where is it? Down here. We've met those goals and we spent them or spending from them. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the others that I fully funded so far. So not the eatery. We did vacation for the year. Holidays, goal was $200. We met that, used it. The purge, we set this goal to $300. We saved that and it's still waiting to be used. Bank of Nita, goal is set was $365, $1 a day for this year, leap year. We saved that, and that is it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories has been fully funded for the year. And at the end of the year, I'll come back and mark off the ones that's fully funded. But this is just so helpful, and it kind of keeps you on track. But I made a tracker so for the kids back to school, and I didn't add I have the goal amount, but I don't know what the goal was. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. Oops, times 20. So 800. Yes, I was like, I know I didn't increase it. I know I reduced it, but what number was that? So reduced it from 900 to 800. I'm trying to always stuff $40 so that every paycheck we can color an apple in that tracker. And I reduced it because this year they had cash left over in the category, and they were just buying stuff, and which is fine, but it was in excess of stuff, and it's like, well, I'm gonna let you know now, this extra stuff, we're gonna save some of this for the summer. And so we got some stuff a little bit bigger, so at least the summertime is covered. I definitely want to have a in-school amount and a summertime amount for clothing, shoes, and that kind of thing. So I feel like that's necessary. So you guys will see that in my budget for 2025. Moving forward to birthdays, gift celebrations, I set the goal for 500 this year, and this category will never see 500 in the envelope. But that 500 lets me know that the goal amount that I set, 500 will hit this envelope, and if at the end of the year I have money remaining or nothing, that's how I determine to increase the category or leave it the same. But I feel like for all the birthdays throughout the year, graduations, promotions, whatever's going on, it's been enough. So with that being said, we give it $21. And so that's another thing I like to mention to remind you guys, since I'm paid bi-weekly, 2 months of the year, we get the magic months or the golden months where you're getting that third paycheck. And for some people, it's not seen as a third paycheck or extra or whatever. But for me and my budget, I plan stuff so it can be extra. Meaning when I do my goal amounts, I divide by 24 paychecks. I leave out the 2 magic months. So these amounts, no matter what, they're coming from 24 paychecks. So 500 divided by 24, just to give you an example, that's how I got to 21. So I just rounded up to 21. And that has been great because those 2 magic months I can allocate to something specific, or every category something extra, or if something comes up, I can look forward to using that magic month towards any and everything. Moving down to Christmas 2025 is getting set to go at 1,000. This one is going to fluctuate because I created a tracker and I set the goal amount to 1,000. So numbers range from 15 to, I think 50 is the highest. Yeah, so 15 to 50. I can play with the numbers. But if I have it set in stone, then I will give this $42. But this paycheck, I'm going to give it 35. Next is sick days, and this is going to get 25. My sick days category, reminding you guys again, I like to have a buffer for everything. So as I created my budget, we're humans, we will get sick, will affect our eating out for that time frame. And as you guys saw, only give eating out $25. So if everyone's sick, like I thought about the worst case scenario, the whole house is down. Who's gonna feel like cooking? You might get tired of souping it or whatever remedy you're using. You might get tired of that and want something else. Or you're starting to feel better, want something else. This sick days category can cover that. Remedies, medication, whatever it is, the bill. Like I want to have a fund that's set and ready to go. Set the goal for $750 this year. Last year I got it up to like I think $450, and immediately got it fully funded, excited about it, had to use it. So started over this year, and that's why I increased my wellness to cover those small things. But at the end of this year, we'll have the $750 in a bucket ready to go for when anybody gets sick, or the worst case scenario, everyone's sick. Follow-up visits and all that, that's not a wellness visit. That's you sick, so you paying that copay, you paying that deductible, all that. And then once this is fully funded this year, I'm going to start saving for my medical fund at the amount of whatever my deductible is. So I'll start working towards that. So hopefully you guys see my vision. When I started my budgeting journey, I was like, you know what? My budget has my back, and my sinking funds, sinking fund to have their back. And it may seem like I'm doing too much for somebody or to some people, but in my headspace, it's like you never know when an emergency. We'll just use medical. Never know when that's going to happen. The fact that I have something and it's not like $200, $300. I set a decent, high enough goal so I can get my deductible saved. I have a chunk that I can pull from if need be. When you're saving and spending at the same time, it's hard to watch something grow and build up. So when you get hit with something unplanned, a specific category, you don't have enough, like you're pulling from somewhere else. So in my mind, backup plan, the backup plan. But really, they're, instead of having a plan A and a plan B, they both are there. I have plan A's. They kind of go side by side, the way that I'm envisioning it. But moving along to car defense, and this is my car emergency fund. I set the goal this year. Well, every year I set it at 1,000. But this year I'm doing a 52-week challenge, and I've been stuffing $53 every paycheck. And so essentially, what I've done in this challenge was save lowest and highest number. So that's how I got to 53. One was the highest. I'm sorry. One was the lowest and 52 was the highest. So working my way from the outside to the middle, that's how I'm able to stay with that number. So I'm going to save over 1,000. Most of you know, I'm trying to save to buy a new car, and I wanted to have my car emergency fund built up as best as I can, because if I get the new car, my insurance is going to increase because I'll have a car loan. Gas will increase. I'm planning to get a midsize SUV if things work out. If not, I'll just get me a large sedan, and then my car and emergency fund will decrease because it's a newer vehicle. I shouldn't have to save as much. I shouldn't have many issues that my car now has given me. That's the trade-off. So next year I'm going to reduce this to 500. Next is home defense. I've reduced that to 500 this year, and so it gets 21 per paycheck. Home emergencies, that's something that Ragnar covers, but I wanted to have something that I could add to that. And sometimes it's like when things come up, it's like, I got it. The large amount that he has for it, just, let that keep collecting interest. I can cover it, kind of thing. So, that's another way our budgets have each other's back. So with that same concept, like that's why my categories and my numbers are the way that they are, because it's always a plan with a plan. Let's add up the sinking fund categories. 40, 21, 35, 25, 53, and 21. So sinking fund categories came up to 212. 212 from 387.90 leaves 175.90. So we bring this down. My zero out challenge gets the last 3 digits of my paycheck, which is the 590. And just a reminder, it was $975.90. So I transferred this to another account, or another bank is what I meant to say. And I just let that build up in the checking account. At the end of the year, we'll add up, it's close to $100 or a little over these zero amounts and see what's in that checking account. Next, I've been doing this for the past 3 years because I have like 5 different banks or credit unions, and I don't like the checking account to sit at 0 or whatever amount was needed to open the account. So this is just a way to grow it slowly but surely, and something there. Almost, I think all but one account that I have open, I've got some kind of bonus from $375 to $525. And so that's why I have so many, Yeah, I kind of do that throughout the year depending on what they're offering. I've closed some because the service, the ATM, there's so many factors, and I closed it. Me, quality takes over quantity. It's a huge turnoff for me. Next is new car. Every paycheck, we do a scratch off. So we scratch off a diamond. I'm doing an 8K savings challenge from Pinkette's Budgets, and we scratched off 170. And in my cash stuffing, I scratch off for the next pay cycle. That's where the number comes from. And that challenge, the highest number is 175. It ranged from 135 to 175. And so when it's at the highest number, I take from my sinking funds. I took from my Christmas, which that was another reason why I had this fluctuate, because I know that my new car, I'll be saving. My plan is to have it fully funded by June 2025. At least this way I can have a category or two I can pull from once some stuff have been fully funded. So that's helped. But just so you guys understand that, we got our amounts in our two categories. We can see this equals 175.90. But since we got a negative 175.90, we just gonna add these numbers and make sure we get us a zero. So 170 plus 590, we have our zero-based budget. And once I discovered this community, so many different budgeting strategies, this was the one that makes sense for me. I love it. I'm gonna stick to it. Next year, I'm gonna go through a monthly budget, and I wanna see how much percentage-wise I'm giving my bills, my sinking funds, or savings, spending, like cash envelopes, retirement. I want to see that number and how it works in my budget. I'm working on a sheet to do that because I want to do that on a monthly basis, and I compare. Then that's another way for me to tweak some numbers by the percentage. Knowing your numbers is important. Like, you need to know your number. And so now I want to know, I know my numbers, what percentage of my paycheck is going to bill, what percentage am I spending on, day-to-day expenses, what am I saving? And so this is something I hardly ever go over with you guys, but I just want to show you that I do this, and I just use a regular pen. I be trying to save the ink from my erasable pens when I do my cash envelope breakdown. I do this before I do the budget, because if this balance with the stuff that I pre-planned, like from using my cheat sheet, if this balance, I shouldn't have an issue over here. And all the categories I pull in cash. So that's $655. And over here we got our denominations, and over here everything totals $655. And so that's like, for me, it's just that added confidence that, okay, you got this worked out, it's prepared to go to the bank. All I gotta do is the budget. So right here, in case anyone's wondering, I'm gonna give this a $50 bill. That's just a note to myself that it's getting 40, but I'm gonna give it a $50 bill. And so I'll put that 10 back in the tray. That is it for my first paycheck of November. I do my first paycheck with you guys, and the second paycheck I normally don't film because by the end of the month I have so many tasks, so the video is not recorded. Pretty much stays the same. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye, you guys.